Hi y'all, welcome to the channel. I'm Heather. Today I wanted to take a second and share with you 5 things that carrots have taught me. Today I'm not only going to tell you the 5 things that carrots have taught me, but I'm going to show you how I'm doing it. It's a little bit late here in the season, but I did want to take a second and share with you guys this so that way maybe it'll help get you thinking about some things that you can change if you're struggling growing carrots. Now, when I first started growing carrots, I struggled horribly. I could not get one carrot to sprout. And when I did get the carrots to sprout, they just did not make it. So I'm going to share with you guys 5 things that carrots have taught me and that I've been able to use and utilize these things to get these carrots growing. It's quite breezy today, so I hope you guys can hear me. So let's go ahead and get started. I did want to let you guys know that this bed here was covered in ants. So I took the orange oil, soap, and water mixture, and I really saturated the soil several hours ago before I got to planting in here, make sure those ants were gone. Okay, so, and I come out here and it looks like they may be gone. Okay guys, so that was the first thing I had to do to prep this bed. Okay, so the rest of the things that we're going to do together. And these are the things that have helped me grow carrots. And I love fresh carrots. I don't like them cooked. I love them fresh. So having a fresh carrot to be able to come out here and pull and clean up, it's just been a really wonderful thing. So let's go ahead and get started with those 5 things, guys. So number one thing that I've learned about carrots and carrot seeds is that carrot seeds need to be stored in a cool, dry, dark place. I like to call it cave style. All right, it needs to be kept at about 55 degrees Fahrenheit or 13 degrees Celsius, guys. All right, and we need to make sure that we store them properly, because if it's stored properly, they can keep up to 6 years, maybe longer. Okay, I like to keep mine in the an old refrigerator that I have. It works, but it doesn't work, but it stays cool enough to store my seeds in, if that makes sense. So we are using it to store the seeds in. It's the only refrigerator that we use for seed storage. Okay, so that's number one. Seed storage and making sure that we store those seeds is properly is very important, because if you don't have a viable seed, of course, you're not going to get a plant. All right. Number 2 thing that I think that carrots have taught me is patience. Carrot seeds can take up to 21 plus days to germinate. And carrots will germinate when the soil temperatures are between 50, 70, 75 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 to 21 degrees Celsius. Okay, guys? So they like their soil temperatures quite cool. So we want to make sure that we plant them in the cool weather. All right, if you'll just check and make sure when the proper time for you to plant carrots in your area is, make sure that you check that, the time frame for that. All right, and I think that the hardest part is the wait. Okay, I get so impatient that I just can't stand myself. And I do know that when I've planted carrot seeds in the past, I've harvested seeds, and I've had seedlings pop up after I harvest. So to me, that's kind of odd. I've never had that happen with carrots before, but this last 2 times that I've planted my seeds, I have had this happen. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, so here is the bed that I had the carrots in, and I harvested them back in February. And as you can see, we have new seedlings pop up. All right, here's another one. And right here, let's see if I can get you close enough, is a new seedling has emerged right there. Okay, guys, so those seeds will pop up even if you think there's none left. Okay, so patience is definitely the number 2 thing that carrots have taught me. All right, so with that being said, we're going to go on to number 3. carrots seeds need to stay moist. All right. After we sow them, we need to make sure that we're keeping that top 1 inch of soil moist. Okay. I do have a adjustable spray nozzle here, and I put it on the mist setting. Okay. So I do make sure it's put on the mist setting, and I make sure that I water them in really well. All right. So, and we can plant carrot seeds 1/8 to 1/4 inch deep. All right. So let me show you how we're going to do that. Okay, guys. So for this video purpose, I'm just going to kind of mix this up because I do have some weeds growing in here. So I'm just going to kind of turn the soil over and make sure that it's nice and loose. Okay. So we're going to do that real quick. All right. And when I do put the tops of the carrots back down in here. Okay, so we're going to mix it up and get them weeds turned back in. Well, I'm going to throw that one because it wants to keep popping. So we're just going to toss that weed. All right, I don't really get crazy with weeding or anything. I just kind of put them back into the soil. That's what I do. But that's just me. That carrot top wants to keep popping up. So we'll make sure that the weeds are in the bottom. All right. Okay, so I just leveled the top off. Okay, guys. So we're going to level that top off. Darn roots are not wanting to go down. All right, so we're going to level the top off. Make sure it's nice and weed-free. Okay. I always like to fertilize when I do a new crop. This is slow release blood meal. Okay. So it'll last a little while. So I'm adding it when I'm planting. And I'm also going to add some bone meal. All right. So we're going to mix that in real good. All right, so we got it mixed in quite nicely. Get it mixed in. All right. Make sure it's mixed in good. Okay, guys, before we get started, I want to make sure that if you're buying seeds or if you have a pack of seeds like this, okay, to make sure that you check the date. We don't want any seeds that have expired. We want to make sure they're as fresh as we can get them, guys. This packet says sale by 12/23, okay, and it is a pack of Danvers 4 for $1 from the Dollar Tree. Okay, I put all 4 packs in this packet, this one packet. So I bought 4 packs to do this video with, and we're going to see how well these seeds go. All right, so what I do, okay, is I take a lot of seeds. Okay, this is what I do with these beds. When I'm separating my carrots for different varieties, I tend to do like little small rows. But for this video, I wanted to show you what carrots have taught me, so I want to try to stay focused on that. So I personally just sprinkle the seeds all around, okay? I just sprinkle them all around. All right. I know it's a crazy method, but this is what I do. All right. Now, these packs didn't have that many seeds in them. All right. So, but I planted all 4 packs. Now, we're going to cover it with some soil. We're going to cover it about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. I know the depth sounds crazy, but we're going to want to keep those seeds moist, so we want to try to keep them covered so they don't dry out, okay? So I do cover, all right? Now this is just some old soil that I had in a pot, so that's what I'm using. All right, So there they are, they're all covered. Okay guys, so I want to bring you in and show you that you really don't see any of the seeds now that I've covered them up. Okay, so there really is no seeds visible. Okay, so now that we have those planted, the seeds sown in the ground, and we have the soil on top, we need to make sure that we keep them moist. So we're going to take and use the misting spray for that. So we're just going to make sure that we get it good and moist, because we have to keep that first inch moist. It needs to be moist in order to keep those seeds nice and moist, because remember, we need the moisture to germinate those seeds. Okay, so now that we have them all moistened, all right, I want to let you know that they like to stay covered, okay? And a lot of people will just cover them with soil and let that be the end of it. I find that I have a hard time keeping the top inch of the soil moist here. So what I do is I take an extra step and I cover them with cardboard. Okay, so I will share two different ways with you how I cover them, because some of us have these beds that are on flat ground. This one is going to be above the ground and it has a lip, so I'll have to show you two different ways that I do cover, because I have to cover in other areas, I have to cover a different way. So I will share with you two different ways that I cover the plants. Okay guys, so for starters, I take and I put something across the bed like so. We'll probably have to put it this way. Yeah, we'll put it this way. Alright, we put it across there like so. Alright, now I do cover with cardboard. Alright, so this cardboard has been used a couple of times, but alright, let's put our braces in further. Alright, so then I'd use those poles to hold the cardboard up, and then I put something over top to hold the top down. Okay, so that's how I cover it. And as I was doing this, I thought I do the ones on the ground the same way, so that way it keeps the cardboard up off of the seedlings. I have laid the cardboard over top of the seedlings, and the seedlings have just stuck to the cardboard. So I find that doesn't work for me. So I have to prop something up. If I'm going to put it flat on the ground, I still have to use something to prop it up with. Just because I don't want to lose those seedlings that come up. Okay, so this is the way I've done it, okay? And this has worked for me, so I'm trying to help you guys that are seriously struggling with carrots the way I did. Okay, some people have no problem, but I sure have a problem. All right, so the fourth thing, we'll go on to the fourth thing. Let me go back. We take this cover off once the seedlings start emerging. I don't like to leave it on too long because it tends to cause the seedlings to be really leggy, and I try to keep that from happening. So once the seedlings start popping, I like to take this off. All right, and I put a small row cover, okay, over top of it to help keep the rain from beating on it. Once I remove this cardboard, let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay guys, so here is one of the other carrot beds that I have that I did the same exact way. Okay, so this row cover here is what I was talking about. I just pulled this off of the carrots. It's the thin, breathable row cover. Okay, it's just a sheet, and I just lay it over top. Let me show you. So that's how I cover it and wait till they get a little bit taller and a little bit stronger. Okay, the light can still get through, the rain can still get through, but it just doesn't beat those seedlings to death. Okay guys, so that's the first 3 steps, the first 3 things that the carrots have taught me. Alright, so we're going to go on to number 4 now. Alright, number 4 is carrots need to be fertilized 3 times in their growing season. We need to make sure that we give them something that's got fairly even NPK, something like garden tone, or I use blood meal and bone meal. So it just depends on what you like to use, but it needs to be fertilized with a kind of even across the board NPK. Okay, normally I do add azomite, but this time I did not. I didn't have any handy, so I wasn't able to add that this time. But that's okay. We're going to keep going with it, okay? Because no sense in giving up now. All right, so we fertilize them 3 times. The first time we fertilize them is when we plant the seeds, like we did today. Okay, so we fertilize them when we plant the seeds, and then we fertilize them again the second time when the tops have reached 3 to 4 inches tall. Okay, and then the third time we fertilize them is when the tops reach 6 to 8 inches tall. Okay, so those tops, we need to pay attention to our tops to make sure that we're fertilizing on a regular basis, so that way we make sure that we get a good amount of carrots and our carrots reach their full potential. Okay guys, so I hope those 4 things are going to help you guys out. Now the 5th thing has really been an eye-opener for me. I like fresh carrots. Like I said before, I like fresh carrots. I don't like them cooked or anything. So when you harvest them, most people store them by freezing them or canning them. But again, I like to have fresh carrots. So, and the kids do too. So I've learned that when you harvest carrots, this is whether you're canning them or freezing them, or storing them for fresh eating or fresh cooking, that you need to take those tops off immediately. Because if you don't take the tops off immediately, the tops will suck the moisture out of the carrot roots. Okay, so it'll pull the moisture out of the root, and then the root will shrivel up and just be yucky. Okay, so we must take those tops off immediately. Now I take the tops off and I put them right back into the soil. Okay, it depends. I will use them as mulch. I will use them, turn them into the soil and let them decompose in the soil. It just depends on what I'm doing that day. Okay, so remember that the tops must be removed when you harvest them in order to keep the root freshest longest. Okay, the next thing is going to be storage, carrot storing fresh. This is a new concept for me, and I'm thankful that I figured it out. So storing carrots for fresh eating, which I've done, okay, we need to make sure, again, we take those tops right off. Okay, they need to be stored in a cool, dark, and they like it damp. Okay, so for this, okay, I want to show you, these are the same carrots. These are the same carrots that I harvested from this exact bed that we planted in today. Okay, and again, I did harvest these back in February. Okay, as fresh as it was when I picked it. Okay, so these carrots are quite fresh. They have no limp to them. They're quite fresh. So these carrots, so these carrots were, we put them away dirty, naked, and topless. So we harvest them. We do not wash them or anything. We just cut the tops off and we put them right in here. And again, at the bottom, if you can see, there's a damp paper towel at the bottom. All right, and these have been in the refrigerator since February. Okay, and they are as fresh as if we just pulled them yesterday. So that is fantastic to be able to keep carrots fresh like that. All right, so keep them stored topless, naked, and dirty. And they will last a good bit. They've already been in there 2 months, and I'm going to leave them in there to see how long they continue to last. Fresh, so that way I'll know for further harvest. Okay guys, so I hope that you found this video helpful, and if you have, please give me a thumbs up. So until next time guys, happy homesteading.